Hey guys, Tales of Turam here. Welcome. This is going to be an introduction session, a session zero, an introduction to the newest campaign I will be running on Thursdays. Um, I have about 7 to 8 players. The players will not all be playing at once, though. 3 of them are on backlog in case other players do not show up, or other players have to take an extended leave of break or absence from the game. So, I would like to introduce the 3 that are here with me right now. This is not going to be much of an actual game session, more as just an introduction. 4 of the players are here right now. We have Basilius. Basilius, if you would just like to give a general gist of the character you're playing, like the race, class, and a general look into their brain.
All right. Hi. I'm playing a human, wizard necromancer subclass. I guess. They're from the continent of Marcelith, I believe, if I'm saying that correctly.
I don't believe you are.
Marcelith. Marcelith. Right.
Is that
Uh,
even correct?
from,
We'll see.
I think. From the continent of Marcelith. They're from a
It's
noble house.
Marsatith. Marsatith.
Marsetith. Oh, I'm stupid. Marsetith. They are from a noble house of which shall not be named. They are neutrally evil, so while they will do heinous acts, they won't do it for any just non-reason or because it's for a greater good. They will be extremely self-serving, but also they are extremely cautious. They will often, sometimes to their detriment, get in their own way because of their inaction. Um, they will also,
Keep going as long as you want, man. You could end whenever. This
yeah.
is you trying to describe your character.
Yeah, so they will be very not very pompous, but they've got like a holier than thou attitude because they believe they are much smarter than the people around them.
All right.
And that's
Thank
it.
you. Thank you. And what was your character's name?
Moros.
Moros. Okay. Gesh. Please give however you would like to describe your character, their race, their class, and just like a general gist of what your character is going to be played like or what's in their head.
Well, my character is a Silver Dragon born Bow Knight fighter, and he doesn't have too much on his mind most of the time.
Really quickly, before we continue, Gesh, Bone Knight is not something we've created. We're using it from a certain book, just so everybody's aware. We do not own the rights to that book. So, yeah. Anyways, check out the book. Gesh, what's the book called?
Valda's Spy of Secrets.
Okay, there you go. Anyways, continue.
He was. He doesn't think about a lot of things most of the time except to bring down the person who experimented on him, who is called the Boner,
The Boneyard.
but they also call him the Boner.
The boss is getting much more powerful, guys.
Hey, this was your doing.
I
You
said the
could have.
Boneyard, and I made a joke. Anyways,
Uh,
so how do they act? Are they more just like reserved but make like a lot of mistakes and shit? You think?
they're more of a. He is more of a reserved person who. Let's just say the magic did things to his mind that might be revealed later.
Okay. So you're a just for everybody watching. This is one of our reserve characters who may come in every so often. But yes, he's playing a Silver Dragonborn. Uh, Prostate Boy, go ahead and say hi. Introduce yourself and your character a bit.
Hi, I'm Prostate Boy. Hoping to become Prostate Man eventually. Me playing as Bo Cry. He is a Crucial. Crucial are basically just, I guess, furry crocodiles, like scalies, but really big and muscular.
Not really.
Size
Not
of
really. They're just like monstrous crocodile men
Yeah,
and women.
but yeah, size category is large. He has some natural abilities because of his race. Some might be a bit strong, some might not, but I'm excited to play them out, test them out. Homebrew race, and then I'm also going to be doing a homebrew barbarian subclass. I've nicknamed Raid Boss.
Oh, by the way, the Crow Shield is something that we have created, so don't worry, and so is Raid Boss. Continue.
Yeah, all homebrew. The Raid Boss subclass is all about controlling the battlefield, controlling your opponents around you, basically using his strength that moves opponents around. And for this character, I'm thinking about, because he has a -2 to intelligence, I'm thinking about just making it to where like he speaks in like maybe 3-word sentences or maybe less. Just make it kind of interesting character choice. But yeah,
No.
Big Gatorman. Yeah, I'm gonna try to see how that works. I like to talk. I like to see how this works. And then he was a slave. He still is a slave from, I guess, until we start, and then Goblin's gonna tell us what happens.
Yeah. I'm just letting you guys introduce your characters a bit so I could get a general gist of them, and so can the audience if they watch this.
Yeah.
Oh.
The main thing is he sort of. I don't have much in store for him because all he's really known is slavery. Maybe as he gets to grow, he'll be able to learn more about the outside world and learn about what there is to do besides just doing what someone tells you to do.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my character, Will Cry.
Okay.
Damn, 2-7 intelligence characters.
Let's go!
Let's go!
Gosh. You guys, I'm gonna have so much lore fucking written on walls and shit, and you're gonna be like, huh, here's some neat drawings.
Hey, for that we have a wizard.
V, please, describe, say hey, describe yourself and who you're playing, please. This is one of the other reserve characters.
Howdy. Most people here call me V. The character I'm playing is Virus. Not related to the name, I promise. It's not. You know that, Gash.
Yeah, that's a joke.
They're an artificer, or a red slime, which is one of Goblin Hair's homebrew races. They're specifically an armor artificer. They've lived several lives, and each one of them they've been trying to perfect themselves in a craft. None of them have really stuck. Until now, they've found that they just love smithing. So, ultimately, they've ended up working for, if I recall right, you said the rather prominent Micah family, correct?
Yes, you are aiding one of their daughters, who's become kind of a prominent figure in the smithing and artifice community, not kill herself in the forge.
Yeah. And ultimately ended up kidnapped, likely due to the fact that, kidnapping someone related to a powerful family is typically something that kidnappers do.
Yep. Well, I was going to get into the premise of the game in a second, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I ain't got a whole lot to spat out like everybody else here.
It's fine. So, now that the character introductions are done, few rules that we're going to do. We're going to keep with some of our homebrew rules, but we're also going to be having a large focus on my random magical effect table. The one that has 679 options at the moment.
All horrible, almost.
Which, if anybody rolls, just for clarification for anybody watching this, if any of my players here roll a natural 1 on a spell attack roll, they can either choose to hit themselves with the attack, dealing damage to themselves, or they can choose to roll on the chart. So that's on them. There's also other points where they will have to roll.
Oh,
anyway,
shit.
That's really one of the main points of this system. It is going to be a deadly kind of system. It's going to be taking place we're going to be starting the day before the Complete Celestial Solstice in game, which is going to be like a main point for most of my games here coming up. And then it's going to go into the effects of what's happening after it's in Draconia, at least, because that is where we're taking place. Draconia! Hopefully that's where we stay. Probably not with this party. Or Well, maybe, because this party seems quite tame compared. But yeah, Draconia is where we're at. Draconia, let me just give you a simple understanding of the setting. Draconia is the floating isle that seems to follow the ley lines that pop around the world itself. It's a magical floating city. It's a few hundred years advanced compared to the rest of the world because since the Second God Wars, gnomes have come here because of the dragons welcoming them as friends and then keeping most of their good inventions to themselves. Draconia is kind of an independent contractor compared to the rest of the world, but it carries a big stick so that it cannot be harmed as well. It has floating drakes, floating skyship airports. It has skyscrapers. It has beautiful, like, clean energy kind of. What did you use? You used solar punk. Was the name of it? Basilius?
Solar punk was the
solar
term
punk.
we used, yeah.
A solar punk kind of feel to the world with a bit of magic to it as well. Sorcerers, artificers, automatons, and the likes of that can be seen within Draconia. It is not just a single city. It is Draconia is a single city. It's a large city within an even larger landmass that's floating, with multiple landmasses that float around it, but are connected to the main landmass. It's owned by an oligarchy, who makes the rules for the city, and there's been a bit of strife in it, with a rising cult as well that's been taking a lot of political power. Now, the party, when we start, is going to be we'll get to that in a second, is going to be having to escape somewhere. But, anyways, anything else anybody wants to bring up before we start with this?
I just realized we have 2 people of 7 intelligence here, and the other 2 are intelligence-based classes.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot be funnier.
We have the big strongs, we have the big smarts.
Yeah, we
I
have
can be
big strong
both.
and smart.
Oh, lucky you, smartass.
Is that
I'm
all?
stuck here. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. No, you guys can keep going. I'm just asking if that's all.
I'm just saying, I'm rocking a -2 and int, bro. I am the barbarian embodiment.
God.
Pray that we don't die too quickly.
Okay.
Oh, we will. We'll be a glorious death. I'm probably gonna press a
No,
button
no.
and nuke us all.
/play input. I'm just getting some music started here really quickly. Yes, stop DMing me. I can't fucking put shit in if I keep getting DM'd, fucker.
Gash, are you bothering the DM again?
That's it. 200 health for the final boss. Anyways, so 3, 2, 1. All right. So, setting the scene. 2 days before the Celestial Solstice. Oh, sorry. A month and 2 days before the Celestial Solstice. A ship. A skyship. Large. Black metal hull on the outside. What looks like grafted dark iron has been placed along its hull. As if it's been soldered on. As it moves through the breezy skies of Turam. We watch as we pull into it. Sorry, we don't pull in it. Sorry, my bad. That's completely different. That's in a little bit. We watch as the ship appears, seemingly transporting with a bismuth flash of color into a snowy, mountainous region. Large mountains can be seen in the distance, a single large mound that seems to have a city up front, and then it flashes again below the ground. We see in a large tower in the center of this city, standing like an icy spire of a snowman. Not a real snowman, but I'm saying an icy spire of a snowman. This large tower that branches out almost like a tree at its top boughs. We see a large palace standing upon a large cliffside underground here. I will ask this. Just give me the scene. Basilius, what is your character doing at the moment? As he's like, where would he be? Would he be in his room researching? What would he be doing?
if we want to keep the backstory a little bit more secret, then yes, they will be in their room researching, doing, probably researching a task his sister has assigned him, and probably waiting for her servants to deliver the bodies.
Okay, so as this mortician is standing within a room full of large pieces of paper, looking at a scroll, trying to ascertain what it means, but he can't really figure it out, and he knows that using this scroll might be useful. He looks out the window as he sees a flash of bismuth iridescent light. As he does, he watches as, appearing in the room, a cloaked figure stares at him, holds his hand out, and he falls backwards as the ship disappears again and reappears. Within Durath, a land of sand. Above a central portion of Durath, as the night carries on, about several miles above the ground, it appears. And we see, looking up as they continue to work on the docks, as bells cling, cling, cling in the distance. A large alligator man, who seems to be moving a few crates on a ship at the end of his shift. As you look up to the skies, what are your eye colors?
I'll say yellow.
Your yellow eyes reflect what little bit of light comes down to them as you look up with wonder, surprise, and a bestial intelligence of, what was that? Am I in danger? And then you see a cloak hits the ground and takes the form of an individual as he holds his hand out and a bismuth light hits you, as well as a few others around you. The ship teleports. And it's near Draconia. Draconia, the Isle of Dragons. Actually, no, you got... If I remember, Prostate Boy, you got sold off, right? We'll get back to that. Yeah, we'll get back to that. We'll get back to that. Yeah. Sorry. His character... We'll say his character just gets teleported on, and we'll talk about that later. But yeah. Next, Draconia. The floating island, many waterfalls pouring off of it, many different islands connected by large chains and magic floating it above. Very little floatstone can be seen within the portions of this place, compared to Tyrellian's floating island of Tirok. As it floats and continues to move along. We see many different large waterfalls that pour down the sides of rocky cliff faces. We see large stretching plains and forests, large trees, ancient ruins covered in moss, stone, debris. Dragons and drakes fly within the skies and on the lands themselves. Large skyscrapers of brass and bronze shimmer with the beautiful lighting that exists within the continent of Draconia itself. We'll call it a continent. Why not? As the ship appears, we watch as two individuals at the edge of the island step on, carrying two individuals. One seemingly within a set of like mechanized scale mail, glowing and dimming like there's a fire in their chest. The other, a silver dragonborn, seemingly with a large welt on the side of his head from being knocked on the side of his head. As two of these cloaked figures step on, the other cloaked figures nod at them, and we can see the ship itself has no sails, like a skyship usually would. But we see large pieces of bismuth crystal that have been embedded into the sides of the ship, and they pulse with power as it begins to take off. As they take off into the night, a month of time passes. A new moon comes. And returning to Draconia, around the area of Draconia, the ship seems to be passing. as it begins to get towards Draconia. An explosion. As we see smoke and fiery debris of multicolored fires starting to appear on this elongated, several hundred foot long from bow to stern ship. And we see combat. A few other sky ships sending attacks. Drakes and dragons landing on the ship, assaulting it. What does this mean? Who knows? But it is the start of an adventure. And that is where we're going to end this little story.